friends. In this video, I will tell you about assessing the need for HRD, designing and developing effective HRD programs. Now, what is human resource development? Human resource development is a process of bringing people and organizations together so that the goals of each one are met. It tries to secure the best from people by winning their wholehearted cooperation. It is the art of procuring, developing, and maintaining competent workforce to achieve the goals of an organization in an effective and efficient manner. Now, what is need assessment? Need assessment is a process by which an organization's HRD needs are identified, and it is a starting point of the HRD and training process. It is also a systematic inquiry for the purposes of identifying priorities and making decisions and allocating finite resources in a manner consistent with identified program goals and objectives. Identifying and analyzing expressed and unexpressed needs. It is also a plan to develop strategies that addresses such needs. A need assessment can identify the organization goals and effectiveness in reaching these goals. Discrepancies between employee skills, the skills required for effective current job performance, and also discrepancies between the current skill and the skills needed to perform the job successful in the future. Now, what is organizational analysis? Need assessment at the organizational level is usually conducted by performing an organizational analysis. Organizational analysis is a process used to better understand the characteristics of the organization to determine where training and HRD efforts are needed and coordinate conditions within which they will be conducted. An organizational analysis can also show you what is wrong with the company. Organizational analysis focus on structured and decision of the organization and how the organization systems capacity functionally influence outputs. The organizational characteristics studied by may include goals and objectives, rewards, system planning, and communication systems. It is also known as internal analysis company. There are various components of organizational need analysis that are organizational goals, organizational resources, and organizational climate. Now, what is organizational goals? Understanding the organizational goals and strategies provides a starting point in identifying the effectiveness of the organization, and areas where goals are being met and being goals are not being met should be examined further and targeted for HRD or other appropriate HRD or management efforts. Now, what is organizational resources? An awareness of organizational resources is particularly careful in establishing HRD needs. Identify organizational core competencies and competitive strengths. Money plays a part in determining HRD efforts. For example, if there is no classroom or conference room facilities within the organization, the scheduling and the location of HRD program that require such facilities can become very difficult and expensive. Now, another component of organizational analysis is organizational climate. The climate within the organization is an important factor in HRD success. It If the climate is not conducive to HRD, designing and implementing program will be difficult. For example, if managers and employees do not trust one another, employees may not participate fully and freely in training program. Advantages of conducting an organizational analysis. An analysis or organizational analysis reveals where HRD is needed and organizational and environmental conditions that may efficient the HRD effort. The strategic plan can be valuable source of information for organizational analysis, whereas HRD efforts can become a major component of carrying out the strategic plan. There are certain list of questions to ask during an organizational analysis. Number one, are there any unspecified organizational goals that should be translated into training objectives? Are the various levels in the organizational committed to the training objectives? Number three, will trainees be rewarded on the job for appropriate learned behavior? Number five, in top management willing to commit the necessary resources to maintain the organization and workflow while individuals are being trained. Now, what is task analysis? Task analysis, also known as operational analysis. Task analysis is a systematic collection of data about a specific job or group of jobs to determine what employees should be taught to achieve optimal performance. Results of the task analysis include the appropriate standards of performance, how tasks should be performed to meet the standards, and knowledge, skills, ability, and other characteristics that employee need to possess in order to meet the standards. Develop overall job description. Job description is informative documentation of the scope, duties, tasks, responsibility, and working conditions related to the job listing in the organization through the process of job analysis. In some organizations, job descriptions are readily available and are updated regularly. Without up to date job descriptions, it may be necessary to conduct job analysis. A job analysis is a systematic study of a job to identify its major components. Job description gives all the relevant and necessary details about a job, the details which can help one decide whether the job is relevant or not. Task identification, it also focuses on the behavior performed within the job. In task identification, the following information about the job is determined and clearly described. The major tasks within the job, how each task should be performed, the variability of the performance. Five methods for task identification: stimulus response feedback, time shaping, critical incident technique, job inventories, job duty, and task methods. KSAOS needed to perform the job. Now, what is K? It stands for knowledge and understanding of a body of information, usually of a factual or procedural nature, that makes for successful performance of a task. Skill, an individual's level of proficiency or competency in performing a specific task. Level of competency is usually expressed in numerical terms. Ability, and a more general enduring trait or capabilities on individual possesses when he or she first begins to perform a task, for example the power to perform a physical or mental function. Last, other characteristics include personality and interest and attitudes. Thank you for watching my video.